Deborah here from Slap Happy Sewing. Wanted to talk to you, got here my plans for 2020 and wanted to just lay them out there. I have been thinking a lot about, you know, possibly like a lot of women, I've had I've spent a lot of time in my life, years and years, having children, looking after other people, and now I kind of feel that this is my time. And I have felt like that for a couple of years, but I don't think I'm actually making it happen in real time. So sewing is allowing me the chance to sort of maybe ask myself the question, what would I really like to look like? And I sat down and wrote some thoughts of myself. So the first thing is, I do not feel that I look like the way I feel on the inside. I don't dress, I don't express myself with dress the way that I would like to. I think in my heart I'm much more colourful and bohemian a person than you would think when you see me dress. I've got plenty of clothes, so I don't really need to add a lot of clothes, but I do want to try and fill some gaps that I've got in my wardrobe. And then I also want to create more kind of pieces that are more about the way that I feel inside, that kind of reflect the style I'd like to have. I mean, I think one of the barriers to having style for me has always been my figure. That, you know, when you're plus size, I think you feel like you need to dress to be slim all the time, and I think I've fallen into that trap a lot. And the other problem, of course, is you can't necessarily get the clothes, the nice clothes that you want to fit you. 90% of my fabric stash I acquired from charity shops, so it was pre-owned. I have got a lot pickier about what I buy now, but actually because now I'm working full-time, I don't have as much time to trawl charity shops, so I'm not worrying about that. I think, I'm going to show you now what I've got. If I've got another box full by the end of the year, that's fine. I have 3 boxes of fabric. One is a box of scraps, one is a box of heavier weight fabrics, and one is a box of fairly light cottons. I also have that basket has leftover bits of cotton fabric in it, with the idea one day I might do a quilt or a project with it. Onward I have this, what would you call it, like a chest, and that has all of the jersey fabric I've collected, plus some chair fabric. If I see fabric in Spotlight or any fabric shop that I absolutely love, I'm going to buy it, just along the lines of I want to make things that really reflect who I am. So if I see really, really special things, I'm going to buy them. But otherwise, I'm quite happy just to keep collecting. Patterns are another thing though. But I've just recently had a good look through both digital and paper patterns, and between the two of them I probably have a pattern to make nearly any garment that I want to make. So I think I don't need to acquire a lot more patterns, and I need to realise that they are a starting point. Now, whereas digital patterns, they're just there on my computer, my paper patterns, they do feel a bit like pressure. I'll show you a picture of them now. A little plan here. It says if I want to buy another pattern, then it must be because I haven't already got something that I can adapt, that it is truly something new, or the piece is so good it's not worth trying to adapt an existing pattern, or it's, you know, so cheap and it's digital, it's under say $5 US, then it would save me time to buy the pattern. Or it's something that's, you know, boho, in my boho vibe, or has a lot of good instructions, so will embody a learning experience, will push me out of my comfort zone. So if it doesn't fulfill any of those criteria, then I need to think twice about buying it. I like to make 9 actually. Last year I made a list, a make 9 list, and then I lost it. It was in my journal, and I put my journal away and couldn't find it. When I came towards the end of the year and got it out, I realised that I'd actually made most of the things in my make 9. And I think it's because I kind of followed a principle which I'm going to follow this year. So my make 9 is really perhaps more, it's either sewing that's a little bit out of my comfort zone, so it's learning, it's sewing that's going to push me a bit and make me learn, or it's sewing for things that I really need. So getting on now, I'm just going to talk about my make 9. Okay, so make 9 wise. First one is the Ellie and Mac Duchess coat. Now I've put that on there because I bought it pretty cheaply, I think, in the Ellie and Mac sale. I love the look of it. I think it's how I want to look. It's got that kind of boho vibe that I'm looking for. I don't know if I've actually got some fabric in my stash for it. But what I thought I would do is, I've definitely got some fabric to make a muslin, so I thought I would muslin it and call that enough. So I don't have to go and buy fabric for it, but I do have to try it out and make maybe a wearable muslin, but a muslin for it. So that's the Ellie and Mac Duchess coat. Next one is Simplicity 2289, this poncho. So I made this poncho before. You'll see it in my review from last year. I made this poncho before. It was a disaster. I made it in the wrong fabric, but I have actually got this kind of rib jersey fabric, and I think it might work well in that jersey fabric. Number 3 is, I've got these black trousers that, although they're shop bought, I bought 2 pairs actually, and I've worn them a lot and they've been fairly comfortable. In fact, I've worn them so much that one pair of them was practically worn out and the other one's really kind of thin and shiny. So what I've done is take one of them and take it all apart so to use it as a pattern. So I'm going to have a go at making those trousers again, because that's kind of something that I need. So number 4 is, remember I made a couple of Upton dresses. I like the pattern very much. I've got the pattern altered to suit me. Well, when I got married, I had this wedding dress, and I had actually bought it second hand, and my daughter, I bought a dress for my daughter's exactly the, you know, same material, but the top of the dress wasn't a great fit on me. So what I want to do is to take that dress again and have a look at it again and see if I can make a new top for it. I've got a little bit of spare material. I think there's enough fabric in there that I can do that, so I'm going to give that a go. And that would make something out of that. I've kept this dress, and obviously it's got kind of you know, it's sentimental value for me. So if I could turn it into a dress that I would really wear, then I'd be really happy about that. Number 5 is the Envigado vest. Now this was a bit of an impulse purchase, but I think this kind of a vest is very difficult for someone with a figure like mine, because I've got a very big bust and I'm tall. Any vest that, I like the style of it, but any vest that I've ever tried on like this is too short the waist comes too high for me and I can't fit my bust in it, or if I can fit my bust in it, it's right off my shoulders. So I'm hoping that I can turn this round, because I do think that the style of this vest is very much in tune with the kind of clothes I like to wear and who I am. The other thing about this Envigado vest is that it's got a lot of things sewing in it. It would be a very advanced sew for me, so there'll be a lot of learning in it for me, so a challenge. I probably won't make it until the winter, so we're in summer now obviously in New Zealand, so I won't be making it probably till winter time, but watch this space. So I'm going to give it a go. Next thing, I'm going to make myself some form of a bag. I have never really made like a proper handbag style thing. Now what I've got in mind is, oh, what is it called? I love these bags by this company called Sack Roots, and they make these kind of boho bags, and there's a particular one which I'll show you here. It's a convertible shoulder bag come backpack, and I would like to make a bag like that. Now quite fancy making it in that, what do they call it, where it's shiny like they make tablecloths of. It'll come to me. Simplicity 1696, which is an amazing fit pattern that I bought quite a long time ago out of that paper pattern store. I think the reason I want to make this is I do wear trousers a lot. In New Zealand it's quite hard to buy trousers that are not just kind of black or grey, possibly navy. I would like to make some trousers in colour. Really tried to make a really well-fitting pair of trousers before, so if I can get this pattern right it could be a great asset to me, so I'm going to give that one a go. What else is there? Oh yeah, number 8 is a Charlie caftan. I've got the pattern, I've probably got the fabric there somewhere in my stash. It's a nice pattern. It should be possibly one of the first things I make. It's summer now, I ought to give it a go. And then number 9, I've just put here chair covers. Well, I've got a pair of cream sofas in my dining room, and I'm either going to cover them. The problem is that the cats have scratched at them, and they're not bad. They're not too dirty, but the cats have scratched them up a bit. And I like that look where you have like loose covers on a chair, so I'm going to try and make some loose covers for them. Have you got any plans for the year, and do you like making plans, or do you prefer just to be, you know, a spontaneous sewer? I can see benefit in both, and I hope this Make 9 won't make me feel pressured, but I think I do need a little bit of focus because I'm still learning. Maybe if I was more experienced I'd be like, oh, just going to do what I fancy, but I feel like I'm on a bit of a learning journey and I need to try to push myself a little bit more out of my comfort zone. So I'm long to hear what everyone else is doing. Do you feel like you don't want to make too many plans, or do you like the Make 9, or do you have some other kind of a sewing plan that you do? I mean, sewing challenges are good, but I don't think I would go out of my way to sew for a sewing challenge unless I was going to make the garment, mainly because I've really got plenty of clothes and I don't really want to just make clothes for the hell of it. Also, I'm quite slow at sewing and I'm not that experienced, so you know, for me it's quite a big deal still to sew a garment. I don't just run things up in 2 hours. Okay, so thank you for listening to me and witnessing my thoughts for the year. Next video will be about my Simplicity 1896. It's that lovely little blue dress. It's come out quite well. I'm just deciding at the moment whether to have it longer or shorter. Yeah, more about that in the next video, but for now I'm just wishing you all a happy January, and I hope it's not too cold over there in the Northern Hemisphere. We're well into summer now. Yeah, do take care. If you haven't subscribed already, I'd appreciate if you would just subscribe down there, and I'll look forward to talking to you again soon. Do you find making plans and lists is a good idea, or do you prefer to sew spontaneously? Let me know down in the comments below. Okay, so that's all for now. I'll talk to you soon in my next video, which will be about that dress, and until then, bye, see you soon.